wanted to say all those persons are spoke about the things. All people said that instruction should be clear. Our is a bit different. We thought that if the instructions are written on the blackboard, the students it may be easy for the students to remember.
Yeah, very good. Yeah. You'll notice whenever I give you instructions, often I write them on the board. So if you don't hear them, you can see them. Okay, can we add anything else to this? What about? So how do you manage the time?
Timekeeper is the people monitor.
And then what did I do? Did I say work as long as you want?
Fix the time.
Yeah. So give a clear timeline. And then when you were doing the group work, what was I doing?
Continuous
Fine. And when I monitored, what did I do when I was monitoring? Was I interfering? Yeah. I was encouraging you, or if somebody was not doing it, I would say, come on, do it. Fine. So, great. So with your groups, you have found solutions to most of these problems. And think about this group work activity from the teacher's point of view. Who was doing most of the talking? Of course. Was it student-centered or teacher-centered? Yeah. And my job was what? What did I do mostly? I moderated and I facilitated. I had to set up the activity and plan the activity. And also, you know, I introduced the activity with the problems and all of that, so your task was very clear. Well, what's the ideal number for a group? What do you think? How many students can you put in a group? 5 or 6, yeah. If you have more than 5 or 6, it's difficult for everybody to participate. What about the size of your classroom? How many groups do you think you can manage? Here we just have 5 groups. It's very easy.
Comfortably manage 10 groups.
10? Yeah. So you have like 50 students, 10 groups? Yeah. You can manage. Yeah. In the JKC, how many students do you have usually? 50. Yeah. What about seating for groups? How can you manage that? Seating. Here, we arrange the tables.
We have chairs.
If you have movable chairs, it's very easy. What if you have benches? How many students sit in a bench? 6? 5 or 6? Can that be a group? Right? You have 5 or 6 students on the bench.
The usual practice in the class. The usual practice in the class is each bench becomes a group.
Fine. Yeah. And the only problem with that is often students will only sit with their friends. So you can mix them up sometimes.
But in regular classes, we don't have that much of time. In regular classes, we don't have that much of time to regroup.
Yeah.
You have to take the group as it is.
You know what some teachers do? They regroup as the students are coming into the class. So they have some kind of system where they give colors to each student as they come in, something like that, or give some token to the students. And when they come in, they must sit in a new group.
Yeah, if it is the first class in the timetable, then it happens. But usually we go third or fourth or sometimes.
We go to the
Oh, the students are already in the class.
So it's not.
I see. Well, then in that case, can you also have them turn around and work with the people behind them? Yeah. And in the JKC, hopefully it's a little easier because you don't have so many students. Any other problems that you anticipate with your students in group work? One big problem that we didn't mention is maybe they don't have enough English to do the group
And
work.
that's why you know if you have written a word,
Real strict about monitoring your language, but when you gave your answers, that had to be in English. And when you're making the notes have to be in English. So the students, maybe they can negotiate in Telugu, but the notes should be in English and the presentation should be in English.
To make it easy, I do one more thing.
Yeah.
I always have my mobile dictionary. They can check the word,
And that's,
the meaning of the word.
so you just give them the dictionary?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mobile dictionary.
And then the other thing you should do also, and I didn't do it with you, but you should always pre-teach the vocabulary and the language that the students need to do the group work activity. You have to pre-teach it. So if, for example, if the group work activity is sightseeing in Kiribati, and I want the groups to make a list of 5 top sites that a visitor should see. So I have to make sure the students have the language. But it can be very easy, like you should see, or we recommend, or the best sites are, right? So you get a few phrases like that, you put them on the board, and then the students, if they need help, they can look at the board to do the group work. And then also you should teach them just regular classroom English, do you agree? Agree. What do you think? And so on, so that they have the language to use in group work. You have to teach that also. What do you think? Do you agree? What do you say? Like that. Often for my classes, in the first week of class, I have one lesson on classroom English. Often that's my first class or the second class. And I elicit from the students all the English phrases that teachers and students should use or might use. Like come in, sit down, open your books, please be quiet, pay attention, all of those. And I put them on the board and I tell the students to write them in their notebooks. And then I say, in class now, we use these classroom English phrases only. Or also for the students, teacher, I have a question, excuse me, teacher. All those. They have to know how to say that in English, and then they can use it in the class. But I put it on the board in the very first lesson, so that the students get accustomed to using the classroom English. Okay, any other doubts or ideas about group work? Yes, sir.
So especially in JKC classes,
Yes,
we have students with mixed abilities.
yes,
We have students from MBA,
yes,
from science background, from arts, and from
Yes.
different streams.
yes,
So while conducting group work,
yes,
these MBA students, they dominate other members.
yes.
Because they involve in all group discussions and all.
Right.
Other students from arts background, they remain silent.
Yes.
This is the problem I face in my class. Can you please give one solution?
I think.
I have a solution for that.
Yeah.
You know, to make things easy, you will always, especially for this activity which George was suggesting, like classroom English, and such things can also be made easy if you can have, in the beginning, in the initial stages of a JTC class, you have a match the following sessions. It becomes easy, when they say to you, and in the column A you have to you, and in the column
The practical problem is,
B.
especially students from MBA, they are good at language.
Wait.
then you
The
can do it.
practical problem is, in one group,
Yeah, it is
one-
being dominated by some people.
one MBA student, he dominates. The student from arts background, he remains passive.
There's a medium problem. English medium students are active.
Both have joined in JKC.
Yeah, I understand. So one solution is, and many of you mentioned it, you have roles. You give the roles. So roll cards. So
MBA student English police.
yes, exactly.
Captain science.
And then the shy student,
Can be given a role of speaker.
the shy student is a
Yeah,
spokesperson.
make it a speaker. Make it.
Yeah, making the speaker. And in the group, he'll help them prepare. Because he must represent the group, and so the whole group will help him prepare what to say.
But,
If it's a good group, if you can encourage them to work together.
but having someone in the group who can speak English well is an asset to the group. It's not a disadvantage. It's an
Yeah,
advantage.
you're right, of course.
We can just make use of him.
No, but I'm saying that, I mean, to address this problem, so one person does not always dominate the group. But the good speaker can help the poor speaker to make the presentation.
Every day you need a
And what I
break.
found is, poor speaker, his confidence levels will go down.
No,
This is the problem.
Yeah, it's the practical problem, yes.
So, others are speaking fluent English, the other will be diffident in expressing his views. So, this is the problem with the mixed students with mixed ability,
Sure.
especially in JKCs.
Right. That's why you have to let the shy student have more chances to speak. The confident student doesn't need any more help. The shy student needs your help. The shy student needs more practice than the confident student, right? So the shy student is the one you must encourage whenever you
So,
can.
shall I take extra attention on that shy student?
Well, it depends how you do it. If this is the shyest student, and I say, you, stand up. Stand up, shy student. Now, make your presentation. That's not a good way to do it. You have to, encourage them.
No, you can have, sir. You can have break the ice sessions as many times as possible in order to bring this shy student out into the open. That's what I'm trying to tell you. As soon as your initial first 20 lessons should be, on breaking the ice.
Yeah.
Because there are many shy students in our class, and this is the only way.
Yeah.
The first 5 to 10 minutes should always be, individual effort, where the student can just see the board and read. Something like, match the following, play the quiz, or something of the sort.
Or pair work,
Yeah, pair work.
where they're practicing with each other.
Yeah, exactly.
And while
And then
we
you
do
can
something
have
like that, we can also follow some other method. Instead of teacher encouraging the shy student, we can advise the active student to motivate the shy one.
Yes.
Because it's very easy for him to learn from his own classmates.
Yes.
Right. So that's what we call peer learning. And so both of them can collaborate and work together.
Yeah.
That's the best idea. Instead of teacher interfering and showing the difference.
Yeah, you need to encourage the shy student, but you have to be careful about how you do it. If you put the shy student on the spot, then he will become more discouraged.
Yeah.
You can't make it like a test for the shy student.
This is a common problem we find in almost all the areas.
Then you can do group work. And always, tell them why you're doing the group work. And all of this, ask your students, what are the advantages of doing group work? And they can tell you. Because they know when they go to get a job, you have to work in groups, you have to work with other people. And it will be to their advantage if they already know how to work in groups in the class. Especially in JKC, it's supposed to be job training, right? And you tell them, for your interviews, for your jobs, you need to learn how to work in groups. And that's why we're going to practice it in the JKC. Tell them, let them know why you're doing it. And then they should be eager to work in groups. Because what is more interesting for the students? To do group work or to listen to the teacher only talking? Of course they will prefer group work. If you give a good task, if the task is if it's confusing group work, then they won't be so interested. But if you give a clear task, good instructions, and a time limit, then they will do it. All right, in your handbooks, you have, oh, you didn't bring your handbooks, okay. Okay, you can move back to your tables so you can see your handbooks. Oh, yes. You mentioned already a lot of the advantages that you see here in the handbook. It's in day one, after pair work. It's this page. Did we mention some of these advantages? Can it improve motivation? There's no page one. It's day one. After pair work. Before instructions. I listened to your roles. I said, English police, what is your job? Moderator, what is your job? I was eliciting your roles.